What hotel you staying at?
What's that?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Just follow the ladies.
All right, yeah.
You'll see, like, hundreds of ladies walking on the right and like, what's going on? It's like, dude.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Danforth, Dirt, and Sprague. Really excited for our next guest. He has cracking up at the commercial break. Judah Friedlander from 30 Rock. I'm going to read this real quick. It's probably going to take me the whole segment. World champion Judah Friedlander is a regular cast member. He's countless TV appearances include VH1's Best Week Ever, HBO's Curb Your Enthusiasm, MTV's Wonder Chosen, The Tonight Show, and it's way too much to read. Did you write that description?
No, I did not. I've never even heard of any of those shows.
Never, ever. What are you best known for? Like, when people see you, what do they recognize you for?
Just karate and sex tournaments, you know.
Which one more?
Same.
Which one are you the world champion in? Karate or sex tournaments?
Both.
Nice.
Both, yeah.
Okay.
You beating people up while you're having sex, huh?
Why not, dude? Why not have a good time while fighting for justice? Why do you have to separate the two?
I think you should.
Yeah.
So your first...
I'm the greatest athlete in the world.
The best ever. How did you start come up with that moniker, that title?
They had a world championship, and I won it.
Based on what?
It's a karate death match for charity,
There we go.
and I won it.
I like it. Judah Friedlander is our guest. He's going to be at Helium Comedy Club. Well, he's there tonight, but he's also there on Friday and Saturday. He's got shows at 7:30 and 10. Is that correct?
Friday and Saturday?
Both.
Oh, man, I thought I was just doing one. Okay. All right, I'll show up. I'll be there for both nights.
It's good promotion.
Unbelievable, dude.
How did you, I'm always curious because you're looking up your IMDb and all your Wikipedia pages.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
Well, that's your celebrity website saying what you've accomplished in your life. I don't know if you're aware of what you've accomplished.
Look, I'm an athlete, dude. I'm not a celebrity, dude.
You just paid
I'm
to
just
go
a
to
role
different
model to
places.
children. Chicks dig me. What can I tell you?
You don't use your celebrity to get chicks?
No, it's been showing up for years.
The youngest one you slept with?
Well, let's see. I first started, hooking up with girls when I was in second grade.
So 9?
I was 12.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 12.
All right.
Yeah. And so somewhere around there. Like again, I'm not good at math. I don't know the exact numbers, but
How did you get your start in the industry? Like,
Stand-up?
Just stand up or acting. Where was your big break?
I started doing stand up when I was 19,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm 58.
That's it, huh?
I started when I'm 44. I started when I was 19. Yeah, you just put together what you think is 5 minutes and go up there and give it a shot. There's no training for it. You just, hit your local comedy club and go for it, So yeah, I started when I was 19. That was in 89 when I first started. I've been doing it ever since.
89's a hell of a year.
We were born.
That's when I was born.
I'm sorry, it was 1988. Actually.
1988.
No offense, Kurt.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. No offense taken.
Yeah.
So we're in this interview
Actually,
now.
no, I just pulled up the medical charts. You were actually born in 1990.
1990. I was late. Folks just lied to
so
me.
it was 89 for me.
Okay. 90 for him.
I'm just a year younger. I know. My
Yeah.
parents are liars. I should have known that from the start.
Your parents are liars.
I know. What the hell? We need to get you to write them a
Watch
letter
your
or something.
language. Okay?
Have you
trying
ever
to
been
do a Christian interview here.
Have you ever been to Portland before?
Unbelievable.
Christian, it's a Christian radio station.
Have you ever been to Portland before?
Yeah. Have you ever been to Portland?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
You seem very
I was
Portland.
actually here in 1989.
Wow.
Your
Yeah.
dirt's father.
This is getting weird.
Yeah.
This is getting- can I go? This is getting
No,
weird.
you have to stay here. You're contractually obligated.
I'm a stay-away dad, so it's the way it is,
You look exactly like you fit in Portland.
I like it
People
here,
belong
man.
here.
You know what I like about it here? It's loose. People seem to do their own thing. Not pretentious.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's enough right there.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Plus, there's food everywhere. There's a lot of food in this town. And a lot of trucks.
Have you been to a cart yet?
Yeah, or whatever you call them. They look like trucks that are
Yeah.
disabled. But
Turn
motorhome.
into restaurants.
they've been eating too much. But, yeah, they're good. I just ate at 2 places. I had a veggie burger and a...
Nice.
this one was all right.
Are you a vegetarian?
No.
You got to be careful with the food trucks, though.
Yeah, I think I did better yesterday.
Yeah, you can kind of judge the food by judging the people. I mean, it's kind of weird, and I know it's kind of a D-bag move.
Yeah, I don't think this guy had ever cooked anything before.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Anybody can open one.
Yeah.
You could open one. If comedy never
I think
works
he was
out.
just living there. I think he
Wouldn't
was.
surprise me. It's Portland.
Yeah, I think he was just living there.
Judah Friedlander, our guest. He's going to be at Helium Comedy Club Friday and Saturday shows 7:30 and 10. What language is your hat in?
It's actually in Star Wars language.
So what language is that?
It's called Arubash or Galactic Standard.
And you speak it fluently?
No, I don't. Actually, we both do.
Really?
All my hats say world champion in some language. This one's in Star Wars language. And all the language they speak in Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, is Arubash, but it sounds just like English, but it's spelled like this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a picture and tweet that out.
Yeah.
So when you're doing your stand up, you're like the world champion. Explain how did you develop that? Where did that come from?
Just over years. My acts are always a mix of lots of jokes and lots of work in the crowd. And I was always a big sports fan growing up. Always played a lot of sports. So probably like 17 years ago, I started writing all these jokes about like different ridiculous world records I've broken. So
Like what? What was the most ridiculous?
well, I was trying to become the fattest man in the world, but I was trying to do it in a week. So didn't really know how to do it. So I just hung out with the fattest guy I knew and give me some pointers. That one didn't work out too well, but
Did you ever break one?
yeah. Well, no, I could have, but didn't really feel like it. There's a lot of paperwork involved. People don't realize those Guinness people. First of all, they're not American. And
First problem.
yeah, I mean they're from Ireland. I don't know why. I mean Ireland, great country, but why are they controlling all the records of the world? And they'll admit it. They drink a fair amount. I don't know how accurate those records are that they're keeping of the rest of the planet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So I have a lot of world records. Is it in the record books? No, because there's an Irish conspiracy against me because I'm American.
I like your thinking there. Who is somebody growing up that you kind of looked up to?
Me in the future.
You in the future?
Yeah, that was definitely my role model.
You had a time machine. What would you use it for?
I actually just got back from a time travelers convention next week.
What'd you do?
Yeah.
How'd you utilize
I don't know. It's
it?
next week. I don't remember it. Yeah.
You're
I'll
bad
know,
with
I'll,
math.
I'll know
You're bad
next
with math.
Thursday.
Yeah, he's bad with that.
Yeah, I'm just an athlete, guys.
What sports did you play growing up?
Every sport, yeah.
Every sport?
Yeah.
Were
What was your
best-
favorite?
Probably synchronized swimming.
Ooh.
It struck me as a swimmer.
Well, I got banned from that because every time I'd take my shirt off and get in the pool, all the chicks would jump in and we'd just do it right there.
Positive steroid tests involved?
What's that?
Positive steroid tests involved?
No, steroids are actually invented from me, though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't blame athletes for doing steroids.
Just your welcome world
They're just,
kind of?
they're just trying to keep up with me.
Yeah.
You know?
I read on your Wikipedia page. I'm sure it's 100% accurate. You're quite the ping pong player.
I do play ping pong.
How did that
there's
start?
in Portland, you guys have a 5-time national ping pong champion.
Is that true?
Is it Forrest
Sean,
Gump?
Sean O'Neill.
Sean O'Neill.
SeanoNeill.
Okay.
Google
Two
it right
L's.
now. I dare you. 2-time Olympian. Google it right now. He's in Portland. He does some work for Paddle Palace, which is pretty much the largest retailer of ping pong equipment.
Sounds like a lucrative business.
That's the stat of the
It's
day
a
right
lucrative
there.
You know what's
business, huh?
interesting here?
Sounds like a drug front.
Because you think I'm joking, but I'm actually serious.
I know you.
Look at it right
No,
now.
I mean, we're from Portland. I think we know you're joking, kind of, but we also know you're telling us
Would
the
you
truth.
Google Paddle Palace?
I got it. Paddle Palace. I got you.
All right, Paddle Palace.
It's in Portland. And Google Sean O'Neill. Google Sean O'Neill
Take me to a
table
porn
tennis.
site. Rubber blades about us.
So is this like this is a hero for you? Then? Sean O'Neill's like your idol.
I trained him.
You trained Sean O'Neill.
Yeah, that's
Did you?
why I'm here. That's why I really came to Portland, is to retrain Sean so he can get back on the Olympic
So then
team.
you would be responsible. If you trained Sean O'Neill, then you were also responsible for Forrest Gump's doing when he won the Olympics for the America.
I was going to do some of the stunt double work for Forrest Gump, but I couldn't move that slow. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Sean O'Neill is an American table tennis player and coach
Yeah.
in Virginia, apparently. Is
No,
where
that's where he grew up, dude.
Okay, so you know that.
Yeah.
Wow. You're
He's from
serious.
Portland, Oregon.
So he grew up in Virginia.
Yeah. Trained
From
in Sweden.
Portland. Totally makes sense. He's trained in Sweden, so he's not even American.
No, he is American.
Why would you
But
train
in the
Sweden?
80s, Sweden overtook
Well,
China
that makes no
and
sense.
became the best ping pong nation in the world.
Yeah, he's bad at math, Danforth. I don't know if we can trust what he's saying right now.
World champions don't lie. Dirk, don't you have a phone where you can Google this
Yeah, I
stuff?
got one, man. I got one.
Would you do some
Yeah,
research
yeah, I
here?
got you. I got Sean O'Neill.
Come
I got him
on.
right here.
Do it.
Hey, in the meantime, is Alec Baldwin crazy?
No, he's actually the only normal one on the show.
Really?
You have to get that question a lot, right?
Yeah. What's that?
You have to get that question a lot.
Yeah,
right?
he actually calls me up and asks me that. He goes, "Is Alec Baldwin crazy?" I'm like,
Am I crazy?
"I think you answered your own question, Alec." Yeah.
Where do you get all your glasses from? I mean, that's kind of one of your.
This was given to me by the Princess of Puerto Rico.
Princess of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Why did you nail her?
What's that?
Did you nail her?
Oh, it was part of the ceremony when I won the World Championships there.
Hottest girl
Yeah.
you slept with?
She was pretty hot, actually.
She up there?
Well, you know, they were all the cheerleaders from the Tokyo All-Star cheerleader team.
You're like Asians, huh? Sprague's
They,
wife.
they were good.
Yeah.
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 What's her name?
Lynn.
Yeah, she's nice. Yeah, she's nice. she's pretty. Yeah.
She
good
mentioned
job,
you
yeah.
in the beard. She's like, I remember
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
They never forgot.
No, they never.
never
do.
forgot.
Who's the funniest person you met?
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of funny people. You know who
Yeah.
cranks me up? Dogs.
Dogs. Which
Yeah,
one?
and
Which breed?
ducks.
It's gotta be a breed.
I don't know, just their faces when they're hungry. Yeah, they're just so desperate. And if you don't give them food, they're just, they're just so sad. They don't hide it. You know, like humans hide their emotions, dogs.
Just let it out there.
Yeah. they're
Do
just
you own a
like-
dog?
What's that?
You own a dog?
No,
Yeah, I
no.
don't think so.
I'm not allowed to.
Why is that?
They're allergic to me. So,
'Cause they-
you ever seen a dog with an inhaler?
No.
It's just sad.
that sounds really sad.
It's going, it's just pathetic.
Judith
I like
Friedlander.
So I don't want to do that.
It's cruel. It's
Yeah,
inhumane.
I care about animals,
you do.
man.
So you're not a fan of Mike Vick, I assume?
Mike?
Yeah.
Well,
Good luck
those
with
those
this.
dogs were actually. He was actually trying to resuscitate them because some of those dogs got near me,
Yeah.
and no, that probably wasn't good what he did. Killing dogs.
I would think it was
You
pretty
know what? I'm gonna go on record.
Okay.
I just want this for the record that I'm against people
I
killing
just
dogs.
wanna
Say, a lot of people, a lot of comics, they won't speak the truth. But I just want to let you know that I think it's not a good idea to kill dogs.
That's-
I think it's bad.
You're gonna get.
I
Bashed
don't mean
on
to be
Twitter for that.
controversial.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, you're gonna get bashed here.
What do you have? What do you have against fast food? Because aren't you doing like this whole fast food, let's get rid of it campaign?
Oh no, I just made a joke because
Oh, okay.
I'm today is the big
Strike,
raise the
right?
minimum wage for
Yeah.
fast food, and I'm for raising the minimum wage. We need to pay people money,
Okay.
But I made a double joke on it, saying, okay, well look, if we can, if they can all strike, and then if we can boycott going there because their food's lame, then we can maybe close these terrible restaurants that we've been eating at for 80 years.
It's a good strategy.
Yeah, So, but yes, no, I'm for those workers definitely. I just wish they were working at a place that served better food.
You're in a ton of movies that I love.
Which ones?
How High? I loved you in.
I see it. I see some issues here. Okay. What else?
Pretty much every Ben Stiller movie that you've been in, I pretty much love those ones too. Do you have some kind of special relationship with people like Ben Stiller to where they can find?
No, it was weird. Everyone thought I did. My first movie I ever did that got released was Meet the Parents.
Mhm.
And then
You're the mums guy, right?
Yeah, the mums. You get a whole
Yeah.
bunch of mums. I made up that line actually.
That's a pretty good.
And
line.
so that was basically, they were filming in New York. They were looking at tons of people for that. I got it. I went in, cracked them up. They gave me the part. I did it. Stiller liked working with me on that a lot, and a lot of that scene was improvised. And then Zoolander came around. That was his next movie, and he wrote and directed that, co-wrote and directed that. And I've been telling my manager at the time, who was constantly lying to me, I'm like, dude, I heard he's doing a new movie. Let me try to get on this. He's like, dude, I'm all over it. Don't worry about it. Then went at the Comedy Cellar, and I see my friend Godfrey, and he's got the script that says Zoolander. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's the new Ben Stiller movie. I'm like, oh, yeah, I heard he was doing a new one. It's called Zoolander? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, cool. And he's like, yeah, I just had my audition today. I got my call back tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, okay, so my manager hasn't been speaking the truth to me at all.
Yeah.
Did you fire him?
Dude, I think about a year after that I fired him
Good.
after about 50 more lies that were much worse than that one. So Godfrey goes in there, and I tell him, like, dude, go in, do this, do that, show him everything you got, man. Like, do it a whole bunch of different ways. He goes in there, does a great job for Ben Stiller, and he goes, yo, man, you should bring Judah in on this movie. And he's like, oh, yeah, Judah, oh, yeah, cool. So then eventually hooked up with the casting director, connected with them. I think then So then I think my manager got a call from the casting director, maybe, and then so then my manager gets me an audition. So basically, it's because either I put all this pressure or because the casting director called because my friend Godfrey said something. So I get a meeting, and Ben Stiller says, "I'm going to give you something in this movie. I don't know what role." And then I did the role of Scrappy Zoolander, playing one of his coal miner brothers. Mm-hmm. Originally, that role was written for Jack Black. He was busy working on other stuff, so I got it. And initially, I had a line in that movie. So did Vince Vaughn, who played the other brother. Yeah. And initially, there was a whole huge subplot with all of us, where at the end of the movie, he's been brainwashed, and they're trying to the president of like Malaysia is trying to assassinate somebody. Well, in the original version of the script, all of us, the two coal miner brothers and the coal miner dad, we tunnel up through the New York City subways and have like a big karate fight with them during that model like standoff thing there. But for budget reasons, they changed that and stuff, and they cut the line. But that was so much fun to do. And then one day we're hanging on the set, and Godfrey's there. He got the part, and I got it when we were talking to Stiller, and he's super busy. He's writing and he's directing and he's starring it, and he sees us hanging out. He's like, "So, what are you guys, roommates or something?" And I'm like, "No, man, we're just comics. We do shows together all the time." He's like, "Oh, cool," and then he like runs off and does his scene. Then cut to a year later, I'm watching the DVD, and I'm trying to get my reel better to see if they maybe talk about me on the thing, to see if I can show that to my manager, say, "Hey, look, here they said something good about me. Get me an audition."
Mm-hmm.
So my scenes come up, they say nothing. Godfrey's scene comes up, and they're like, "Who's this guy?" And Ben Stiller's like, he goes, "Yeah, this is Godfrey, great comedian, Judah Friedlander's roommate, actually." And then I tell Godfrey that. I was like, "Dude, let's keep telling him we're roommates, man. We'll keep working with him." So
it's a team deal.
So it was just so basically, Zoolander, he knew me from Meet the Parents, and my friend Godfrey helped out a lot there, and the casting director, and then Starsky and Hutch. No, then it was Along Came Polly. One of the writers of Zoolander wrote and directed Along Came Polly, so he thought of me for that. And then there was Starsky and Hutch, and that one, Stiller had no idea was there. They literally called me up the day before, and they said, "Hey, you want to do one line tomorrow?" This is the casting director, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." They're like, "It's not much money." I'm like, "I'll be there." I get there. Vince Vaughn's in it too. First thing I get there, it's that first thing. Vince Vaughn makes fun of my hat. He's like, "Dude, what are you doing? That hat's not cool. What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, why are you?" He was just being like the high school bully. Like I just showed up. I'm like the little guy in the movie, and he's just like ripping me for no reason. I'm like, all right. And then Stiller sees you there, and he's like, gives me a look like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Dude, they just called me. All right, I'm not stalking you." So Stiller was always super cool, but yeah, there was no connection outside of work. It was just, and that was the last time I worked with him. Yeah. So, but he was cool. Yeah.
You're known as like the hug guy in Dave Matthews Band. Like, why? Why'd you do that role with the music video?
I auditioned for it.
Did you really?
It was an audition. I didn't know the
early
band.
in your career?
Yeah, it was actually not too long after Meet the Parents or Zoolander, I think. Okay. Yeah. That was actually the same casting director as
was it really?
Zoolander and Meet the Parents. Yeah, they were casting for a music video, and initially they just wanted to have a guy stand on the street hugging people. And initially they were looking at like a model, like a multiracial model. That's sort of like the real everyman. And they cast that, and then they filmed some stuff, and it was kind of boring. So then they started looking at comics to try to add a little life to it, maybe a little humor to it. Had the audition, got it, did it, never saw the band again. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You get paid for that stuff?
That was some money. Not nearly what it should have been, but yeah, that was some money.
Nice.
Yeah.
Celebrity net worth $2.5 million. Must be nice.
Where's that? I want that.
Everybody we bring in, and we tell that to them, they go, "That's not even close."
Really? I have
$2.5.
That's how much is in my account?
Here's my computer.
That's what it says.
Yeah, I'm not going
to. No, I
turn
believe
it around.
Dude, that's awesome. I'll take it.
Nice, yeah.
Okay.
Go to dinner tonight.
Can you print that up and I can walk to the bank with that? Awesome.
Get some women with the
rich.
$2.5 million.
Yeah.
World champion of money right here.
What is
that
site?
math, though.
What is that site?
You don't know celebrity net worth?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it just gives everybody's amount in their bank account, how much they've made in their career.
All right. Let's look some people up.
Must be nice. It's fun. It's fun to do.
Do you have when you're doing movies, I know you love stand-up the most, but when you're doing shows like 30 Rock that last as long as they do you always kind of try to find those gigs because they tend to pay a little more than everything else?
Yeah, I didn't get paid nearly what I probably should have gotten paid for a network TV show on that. But yeah, it was better than what I was getting paid. And but no, I was never looking for a sitcom. I was always looking to just do. I mean, I have the same goals I've always had, and I'm really unorganized. So what I've always wanted to do is have a stand-up, and put out an album or a stand-up concert movie every 1 or 2 years, or 3 years. I don't want to just put them out to make money. I want to put out good ones. And but I'm so unorganized. I've never done that, and I've turned them down like 3 times from Comedy Central because I don't like how they would do them. So I'm way behind on that. And then for the past 10 years, before like 30 Rock, I'd do like a few movies a year, and I like doing that, and playing different kind of roles too. Like I did this movie American Splendor, where
with Paul Giamatti.
Where completely mix it up, play cut off my hair, do an accent, do a completely different thing, and I like doing that. So right now my goals are the same. Just put out an album, put out a. I really want to make a dent and become like a more well-known comic, and for stand-up, because that's always been my main thing. And then I have some like movies I want to make that are like, but they're more like indie, low-budget, crazy, spaceship hooker type movies. Fun stuff.
Why not?
Not like boring Hollywood stuff.
Yeah.
And then I even have some documentaries I want to do, like more serious stuff, but funny too, but serious kind of.
Do you have anything you're working on right now?
I actually have 2 sports documentaries I want
Do you
to
really?
do.
What are they about?
Yeah. Well, I just met the guy, the head guy of the ESPN 30 for 30. I don't know if you watch those. I love them. Those are awesome.
Love
yeah.
'em.
So there's one about an indoor. I'm a big soccer fan. There's one about an indoor soccer player. It's just an idea I have. He's a guy from. He played here in the '80s. Came over from Yugoslavia, and he was like fat. He was like, fat,
Yeah.
but he was like better than anybody. He was the leading scorer, leading assist guy in the whole league. And he's fat. His nickname was the Pizza Man. And they would always have 2 or 3 guys who were just skinny guys who can run a lot. They were horrible. They didn't have good skill, but just so that they can sort of compensate for him because he couldn't run around that much. But he was so his ball control is ridiculous. Apparently he was like a top player in Yugoslavia, blew his knee, came here, got fat, played. Unbelievable. So I think it would just be like an amazing story.
That'd be a great story.
He actually passed away. I think he was 39 when he passed away.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know what the problems were, but it sounds like he might have had some, maybe some, I don't know if it was drinking issues or something, but I don't want to, I don't know enough about it. But I would love to do a story. I love that guy, and I would love to do a story about him.
So do you have an MLS team then? Because the MLS is huge. We got the Portland Timbers.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
big time.
I'm doing their podcast tomorrow.
Are you really?
Actually. Yeah, and I was doing a thing. The regular season just ended, but I was doing a show for NBC Sport Network called MLS Insider, and the guy who does that, this guy John Hawk, he's directed a lot of the ESPN 30 for 30s, and so I would do like a little 3-minute sort of like funny video, look at like different, ridiculous stories in the league and personalities. Like there was this one guy who. No one else on the team knew it, but he got paid a ridiculous amount of money for every goal he scored. So he would at the kickoff, he'd just shoot it, and he'd never pass to anybody, and because even if it was an easy goal for him, so it was a detriment to his team, So like stuff like that. And then one Italian player who was on the Italian national team came over, but he just came over here and got really fat and he hated the team's food, so he was just cooking pasta all the time on the road.
Judah Friedlander is our guest. Have you seen?
Is it hard to figure out which direction to go with your career because you're friends with a lot of famous people? Some of them.
Well, I'm not necessarily friends with them. I've worked with them. That doesn't mean I'm friends.
Well,
with them.
you mentioned Norm, right? So you think he's really funny?
Yeah, Norm's very funny.
But
I hardly ever see him. I see him once every 4 years or something.
Yeah.
I'm in New York. He's in L.A.
He doesn't. A lot of people think he's funny, but he doesn't necessarily catch on like other comedians do. Is that hard to figure out?
Comedy's not like sports. Sports generally, I mean, not always, but, the guy who's the better hitter will probably get the hit. You know what I mean? And in comedy, it's just, quality has nothing to do with financial or fame success. It necessarily doesn't have any, sometimes it does, but it's just really not the only factor by a long shot, So, I mean, Norm's hilarious, but he pisses some people off.
Right.
And then, oh, he's too mean, or whatever, So, but apparently his podcast is doing great, so that's good.
Are there any stand-up comedians out there right now that you look at and kind of question why they're famous and why people enjoy them?
Yeah, I don't want to say names, but yeah, there's a lot, and you know, but I know why people like them.
Yeah.
You know, because I know audiences, and you know, there's look at TV shows. I mean, look what's popular. It's not the best shows generally.
No, yeah.
Once in a while it is, but you know, look at the Kardashians. That's not a good show. You know how popular
It
that
is if you like butts.
Agree to disagree
Yeah.
on that one.
What's that?
It's a great show.
You like it?
You don't think they're hot?
They're overrated, dude. A
Really?
lot of plastic. There.
You've seen them in person, haven't you? I mean, I imagine at a party.
Yeah, Kim, I did. Yeah, she was on a 30 Rock once. I didn't meet her, but I saw her. Yeah.
Mm,
I didn't
take
want to meet her.
Take your word
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Do you feel pressure to be funny? Like if people don't laugh at you, like how do you handle that?
I don't know. That's really like not really an issue. That's just
Doesn't
like
bother you at all?
no. It's so weird. It's like as I've gotten older, it's like I'm doing comedy longer. I get more pressure when I'm not on stage, and just regular everyday life. I get stressed out. When I'm doing comedy, I'm relaxed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You seem kind of disconnected from allowing yourself to get entrenched in the industry, like changing a wardrobe.
I don't like showbiz for the most part.
You
I like
don't?
doing comedy because
Okay.
people always say like, "Oh, it must be so hard doing comedy." All those audiences. I'm like, audiences are the easiest part of my job. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'd much rather deal with them than, agents and managers and stuff in general. You know.
Judah Friedlander is our guest. He's going to be at Helium Comedy Club Friday and Saturday shows at 7:30 and 10. What do people need to know about your show? Do the quick elevator pitch.
Make sure your abs are in decent shape.
Gotta be hot chick, I'm assuming.
Maybe check with the doctor, get a physical beforehand. Make sure you can. Guys, if you bring a girlfriend, hey, it's your own risk, dude. That's just the way it is.
What, the tens to sit up
Yeah,
front?
everyone has to sign a waiver before the show. But it's laughter guaranteed. I'm the only comic that guarantees
I
laughter.
like it.
Yeah. And if they don't laugh, they get $500,000.
$500,000.
Yeah.
I'm glad you hooked us
A lot
up
of
with
coin.
VIP tickets.
$2.5 million
Yeah.
on Celebrity Net Worth.
There we
Yeah.
go.
That's exactly right. Judah Friedlander, you can get
And actually,
tickets.
that's wrong. I actually have $2.5 million bills.
Ooh, that's a lot.
I don't know how much that is.
That's a lot of
You're
money.
bad at math. It's
And
okay.
We're all bad at math.
girls out there, it's and husbands, if you want to give my Twitter out to your wives, and I have no problem with that. It's Judah World Champ on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, I tweeted that we were doing this.
Yeah, you
interview.
didn't retweet.
You didn't retweet us, so
Ouch.
yeah, it's kind of hurtful.
We get a follow out of
It's
this? or something?
cold-blooded, Judah. It's
I'm
cold-blooded.
gonna go now, guys.
HeliumComedy.club. Check out his shows. Judah, we appreciate the time, man.
Thank you. That was fun.